Well, guys, this week did not start as planned. Like I said in the last video, I wanted to come into this week rolling after that win on Friday, but unfortunately, NQ took me for a little spin this morning. Only took two trades. Ended up with $3,000 loss. One of them was an Asia session trade right here that went break even. Same with the trade I just took right now, went break even. But yeah, took a $2,000 loss and a $1,000 loss. Not exactly back to back, but yeah, it was kind of a rough day around market open. Not blaming it on that. I kind of went into this morning unprepared mentally. I just felt a little bit off today. I don't know. I was just kind of groggy. I think I slept too much over the weekend, to be honest. So didn't really feel myself, and like I said last week, I'm still super busy at work right now, which hasn't been the case in like 6 months. So if it keeps up like this, I'm like debating quitting my job because I can't. It doesn't help when I'm like really busy and I miss shit on the charts, because I do make more money from trading. But obviously I would still get a job. It would just be a nighttime job, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that, but it's definitely not helping the case. But no excuses. Did take a loss today. Also, took a loss on all the combines, but I just scalped my way back to the top. That my nuts were in my stomach for these 12 trades, man. Like you can see, like I was just like up and down, and then I caught a huge win just out of nowhere. There was this 3-minute gap that I was just waiting for it to break one side or the other, and it finally broke up, got in and hit that shit pretty fast. So I did get back up to, on this account, this is a new one I started last night. It's needing 2 more wins, and then the rest of them, like fuck, I've been trading these ones forever. Need 1 more win. I only need about I think $4,300 on if I'm doing $3,300 on all 3 of these accounts, and then we'll have 4 accounts rolling. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Asia session tomorrow can knock that out, because fuck, it's been a long time with these accounts. I never have evals this long. So I just want to get it over with and keep rolling. But yeah, let's get into the trades today. No news on the docket, so we kind of knew it was going to be a bit of a rough one, but this is kind of why I was a little bit risk on today, was because we had Trump saying this at 3:34 a.m. I swear to God, this dude does not sleep, bro. Like, I get it was probably like, what, 5 a.m. his time, 6 a.m. maybe, but like still, bro, like this guy's just always like tweeting shit, man. And you're looking for like an immediate ceasefire. You can see that really spiked the market, and then said a bunch of other crap, and that kind of led me to be a little bit more risk on today. So you can see he said that at 3:34 pre-market, and we got a very nice spike up due to that. So I kind of considered this right here a data low, essentially, because it was a tweet and we ran pretty fat up off of the tweet, about 100 points or 80, 90 points, and then we ran up even more. So I did kind of consider that to be a data low. I did think it was a point that could possibly get hit today, because we were kind of just like, we had no direction. I know it was a Monday, so it's like kind of tough, but we had 4-hour gaps unfilled up here, and up here that I did like, and I did want to see get targeted. And on the sell side, we didn't really have much. Like, we did come down and grab a lot, other than the fact that on the weekly chart, you guys can see, I did want to tap into this weekly fair value gap. I know we wicked it a little bit here, but I would like to see us come a little bit lower into it before we continue higher. I do think that's a definite possibility. But for now, we did just continue kind of to chop around today. Nothing really crazy happened. But for session highs and lows, you can see we swept the New York PM pre-market with that kind of Trump data spike, and we left London low, that kind of half data candle, half not. I don't know if you want to call it that. And we left the New York lunch, and then obviously all that up there. But for me, I did want to target this New York lunch high within this 4-hour gap because we were very close to it coming into market open. We were only like about 100 points away. I did think it would get hit today, to be honest. And we did tap into a 15-minute gap kind of right at market open. Right there, which was, I believe, also an hourly gap, as you can see. So we did tap into a higher time frame gap, and we get right here was market open. We get a tap into this gap as well, which I believe was a 5-minute. Yeah, we come down into like these 5-minute gaps here. And I believe there might have been a 15-minute there as well. Did come down into this 15-minute, you can see, and we closed above it at market open. So I was pretty bullish just based off the fact of that. And kind of right at market open, we get this kind of 1-minute inversion here. And like I said, this high is pretty low resistance in my eyes, and I don't think this was a great entry, but I did enter right after that candle closed, just targeting up to here. And like I said, we had tapped into all those gaps. We had taken out a bunch of lows pre-market. We had very, very bullish war news, and unfortunately, I just kind of FOMO'd into this one. And that kind of stopped me out like literally within a minute for a $2,000 loss. I risked way too heavy. I mean, either way, I was going to hit stop loss. But yeah, not my best trade, to be honest. But how do I say this? My thesis on the trade was 100% right, because you can see it did play out. But obviously the best entry would have been right here, not where I entered. I just had to wait about an hour and I would have banked that. But unfortunately, I kind of took a FOMO entry because I was busy at work and I paid for it. And then I did end up taking a short after we come down and we inverse these 5-minute gaps here. But to be honest, this again was not a great trade because at this point we had not inversed the 15-minute. We had an hourly below, and in my opinion, still very clear higher targets to hit. And I did actually end up entering a short position right after we get that 5-minute inversion, and I was just targeting down to the midpoint of this gap here. And again, that one absolutely rails me pretty instantly, within 2 minutes, right on that wick. And even if that wick didn't take me out, I was getting taken out here either way. So again, poor execution, because this trade, I did see a lot of people take the trade I took, but they got in a bit later, either over here or here. You got in right here off this 1-minute inversion, because I believe there was an SMT at the high, and a lot of people said they were stressing like crazy. I saw a lot of people that closed early because we come up and we inverse this 1-minute gap. But anyone who held through that, I believe there was another SMT, and then it delivered instantly right to TP, which would have been this low here. So that was a pretty good trade, but you had to play it perfectly. I didn't play mine perfectly, but I think either way I was getting stopped out on that one. It was the first trade that really killed me today. I wasn't too upset about this short. It was just this first trade that really put me behind before the session really even started. But yeah, I did like that trade there. Although you did have to play your stops pretty perfect, it was a good trade. If I had to say the best trade of the day, would have been that one I mentioned earlier. You get a very, very small 5-minute inversion here, and also a 3-minute inversion right here after we had tapped into that hourly gap. And you get the 3-minute inversion there, tap back into this gap, and you could have easily entered after this inversion here, and even just targeted up to here, or my original target, that New York lunch high, and you would have caught a very nice trade. Could have probably even stretched a 1 to 3 out of this easily. That's a pretty safe stop there in my opinion. I did really like this trade. I thought this was like an A+ setup. It was just kind of a very not ideal start to the day with the amount of chop we had. But if you were still not stopped out at this point, I did think this was a really good trade. And it had 0 drawdown and no chance it went break even if you entered there. So honestly, that was the best trade of the day by a mile. And I was already slammed. I wasn't even on my phone at this point, man. But yeah, rough Monday as usual, but it is what it is. Still got $1,500 in drawdown. Just got to take it light tomorrow and move forward. I'm hoping the market establishes a little bit of direction, but this was the move I was talking about in Asia I just caught. There was this 3-minute gap here after we had swept this low, which technically would have been Asia session low, and we were just failing to break it. And I was just waiting till one of the two of these broke. We did break it to the upside, entered my position here, and I don't know what the hell happened, man, but we just ran right to TP, just blew through that shit. I was only trading like 3 minis and I caught like $4,500 like instantly. So that was a good trade, but I don't really know what happened, to be honest. It kind of just exploded out of nowhere. But I am hoping the market establishes a bit of direction overnight. We have now delivered very nicely out of this hourly gap, and now we're trading into this gap. So I'm kind of hoping we inverse this one overnight, and then we can start moving higher up to this gap. And if we continue moving down, like I said, I do want to see us tap into this weekly bearish gap, or bullish gap, sorry. But with the way we've been trending lately and the whole ceasefire news, I do see us going back up to all-time highs. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure on the direction right now, so definitely going to be risk off tomorrow, because I just kind of uncertain where things are going. It's just kind of been a weird start to the week, so we'll see what happens. But I think that's going to wrap this one up here. There is no news again tomorrow, but we do have CPI the next day, so it might be a little bit choppy. So either way, I'm low risk, and we're just going to play by ear, see how things go, and hopefully get back in the win column tomorrow. So that's going to wrap this one up here, guys. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.